Hi guys. So today we're going to be reading some updates about the Franke Hildebrandt case. So this might be a little bit of a boring video, but there are two things that I want to discuss with you guys as updates in between other things that I've covered and court, which is coming up. As I always do, I will link these down below in case you guys want to read anything in addition to things that I might leave out, etc. Let's start with, where were the other two Franke children on the day that Ruby and Jodi were arrested? This is crazy to me because I just talked about this lady, Pam. Pam is listed as the president of Connextions. I'll put her official title on the screen, but she is involved in Connextions. She's a higher up in Connextions, and I think, as most of us have kind of established by now, Connextions is just wackadoodle crazy town with some of the stuff that they put out to these people who were participants in what I consider to be a cult-like environment. Very, very weird. Everything in this video is being reported by KUTV, and like I said, I'll have sources linked down below. It starts and says, reports obtained by 2 News show how local law enforcement collaborated with the Department of Child and Family Services to locate 2 of Ruby Franke's children who were in Utah County, while the other 2 were found malnourished and physically used in southern Utah on the same day. According to a Springville police officer, on August 30th, officers responded to Franke's Springville home to try and locate the 2 children that were still unaccounted for. Officers checked at the home, but all of the doors and windows were secured, and additionally, all of them were covered with blinds or curtains, preventing officers from being able to observe inside. And I also just want to say, I know that in covering this case, some of the stuff I've brought up more than once, but you never know who's going to click on this video and listen, and they might not be caught up to speed. So if sometimes I repeat myself, it's not me trying to repeat myself, but some people are just now tuning in, which is totally fine. It continues and says, officers later obtained a search warrant. After no answer at the home, following several minutes of knocking and announcing their presence, officers made entry to Franke's home by breaching the front door. And a while ago, I had shown an image of the front door, and I said out loud, but kind of to myself, was the door like that already, or was that from the officers? Something along those lines. And so now, obviously, that more information has come out, we can confirm that that's from the officers. Officers noted the front door was significantly damaged after they entered the home. After a search, the home was found to be unoccupied. According to police, officers then reached out to the oldest Franke sister. One of the children left a local place of employment by telling her supervisor that she needed to leave for a family emergency. After reviewing surveillance from the local place of employment, it showed one of the children was picked up by Pam Bochner. So Pam went ahead and picked up one of the kids, and it continues and says Springville officers were then heading to American Fork to speak with Pam. They were contacted by Utah County Major Crimes detectives who were at a home in American Fork, and they told officers that both children were located. After dialogue and questioning, she explained that around noon that day, she received a call from Ruby Franke, who told her she had a family emergency and asked if Pam could go pick up blank and blank, identifying the 2 children. According to Pam, Ruby asked her if the 2 children could go to her house for a while. Pam then told officers the request was not odd, since she has had blank and blank over to her residence before to do housework and other chores for her. So you're literally having these children come over and do chores that you could definitely do for yourself, but why do that when you can get free labor from children? Ew. The 2 girls were informed by a DCFS worker that they were to stay with their oldest sister, Shari, or be placed with a foster family. Initially, the 2 didn't want to leave Pam's home, but were eventually placed with their older sister. KUTV2 News has reached out to Pam multiple times and stopped by her home in American Fork on Tuesday afternoon seeking comment, but no one answered the door. It's really no wonder that Pam doesn't want to talk to police officers. Her entire operation that was paying all of her bills and, you know, basically affording her what I assume to be a very comfortable lifestyle is now imploding in front of her because of Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke being arrested and being exposed as child abusers. So why would she want to talk to the police? You know, who cares about the kids? Who cares, you know, if they get justice? I'm just not going to answer, and I'm not going to give any interviews. Whatever. Now, it goes on to say that newly obtained police reports outlined how some of Ruby Franke's children and family members were able to access her home after police served a warrant and broke down the front door of the home. According to a police report, Ruby's husband, Kevin, who admitted he hadn't been at the home for more than a year, wanted to file charges against his daughter, who went into the home and took some of the property. A report obtained by 2 News shows Springville police officers back at Ruby Franke's home on August 31st, the day after they executed a warrant at the property. The eldest sister, Shari, had gone to the home to gather clothing and personal items for her 2 sisters. A DCFS caseworker was also at the home gathering items for the other 2 children who were in the state's custody in southern Utah. So we have Shari at the home getting clothing and personal, you know, items for the 2 children that, you know, after a little while agreed to go stay with her. And then we have the DCFS worker at the home collecting clothing and personal items for the 2 children that were found at Jodi's home. The caseworker informed the police they believed Kevin Franke might be at home and that he may not be cooperative, which is why they requested police assistance. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with requesting police assistance, because I think this entire situation has so much crooked, just sketchy behavior surrounding it, and I think that there are certain aspects of this that have allowed Jodi and Ruby to both be protected, and if it wasn't for that sorry, you know, just heartbroken child escaping Jodi's home, I truly think that this would have been a homicide investigation, allegedly, in my opinion. When police arrived, the caseworker, Shari, and other family members were already in the home. All of them were further advised that they should not collect any items that do not belong to them or aren't needed for the children, the documents read. Kevin Franke wants his daughter charged after burglary, threatening to sue Springville police. 2 News obtained a 3rd police report from Springville police outlining a phone call from Kevin Franke, Ruby Franke's husband, reporting a burglary on September 1st. Kevin allegedly reported that electronic items, specifically his electronic journals, were missing. He told officers he believes his oldest daughter, Shari, is responsible due to a statement she had made in court day. If Kevin Franke is going to go from the absent father to the father that is now trying to retaliate against his own child, who has stepped into a role that she should not have to be stepping into, she is a young woman. She is not a parent, and she has stepped into a parental role to take care of 2 of her siblings that desperately need her help. And if he is going to try to lash out against her, it is going to make him look 1,000 times worse than he already does. Because we went from absent, stupid dad to now absent, stupid dad who is retaliating against his own child, who is trying to help his other children through the most traumatic thing that they will ever go through in life. And I bet he's real concerned about those electronic journals. God knows what's in those. The officer told Kevin that the front door had been broken in after a search warrant was served several days prior and was not broken by his oldest daughter, Shari. Kevin stated that Shari is not allowed in the home and that he believes she entered unlawfully and he wants her charged with burglary, reads an officer's statement. Kevin states that he does not want any of the children mentioned in the home at this time. I again explained that they needed to get essential items of theirs and they were in the home, which he did not seem to think was relevant. How is it not relevant? Your literal children are dealing with trauma caused by you, your wife, and your wife's business partner. You didn't step up, so you have a role to play, Kevin. The report mentions that Shari brought the items to the Springville Police Department and they were given to Kevin a short time later. Among the items were 3 tablets, 3 cell phones, 3 camera GoPros, a stack of written journals, and 3 passports for Kevin, Ruby, and another one of their children. The complainant was informed that we would not be charging his daughter with anything, as her intent was not to deprive him of any items. She had previously been allowed in the home, and he had not been in the home, admittedly, for 13 months, the officer wrote in the report. The officer said that he explained to Kevin over the phone that due to the circumstances surrounding the incident, we would not be filing charges against Shari, and that it would be considered a civil issue due to her intent not being to deprive him of the items. So she, did she take the items with malice? I don't think so. I don't think this is messy. Kevin, advised that he was going to sue the police department, the officer wrote. Kevin was displeased with the answer and advised that we would be hearing from his attorney. 2 News had an interview scheduled with Kevin's attorney, Randy Custer, but it was canceled due to the current state of the juvenile court case. Custer shared in a statement regarding these reports. Kevin didn't do either. He and Shari are working on bygones and resuming a loving and healthy father-daughter relationship. Kevin is still trying to understand and correct the upside-down world that was dealt him. It's a lot to deal with all at once. Sky Lazaro, a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case, told KUTV the police reports are revealing. I think it gave us some insight into the family dynamic more than anything. It really seemed to outline that there was probably some disconnect with this family. Lazaro also said the information in the reports tends to maybe lend some credibility that there are or probably are some potential problems there. So I find that to just be super interesting. And, I don't think Kevin should be running around trying to sue anyone. And on top of it, okay, let's just say this. Let's just say that Shari took his journals and, a couple cameras. As far as the cameras and the tablets go, they were family vloggers. All the money that was used to buy all of these fancy cameras and journals and electronic gadgets and stuff was made off the back of partially Shari. I mean, they exploited their kids for money. Where do you think a lot of their income came from? Yeah, Kevin had a job as a professor at BYU, but they made hundreds of thousands of dollars by showing social media their children for year after year after year. So honestly, if she wants to take a damn camera and a tablet or something, I really could not care. I'm not going to send an ounce of pity to Kevin Franke. But either way, those are the reports as of right now. We'll see what happens the rest of this week. I will be keeping a close eye on things, but a few of y'all sent me some stuff over on Instagram, so I wanted to pop this little update in here for you guys. So tell me how you feel about all this down below. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.